My job involves anything from pitching the initial game idea to fleshing out the story and the world to actually designing the individual levels and tweaking the gameplay of the enemies and the characters. I've been at EA quite a while. I have worked on the Burnout series, quite a few Harry Potter games. I worked on Family Game Night, and I'm currently working on a game called Spare Parts. Spare Parts is an online action-adventure game for single player, or you can play cooperatively with someone else. It's for Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. It's about these two robots who have been dropped on a planet. They find an abandoned spaceship, and they find that if they can collect enough ship parts, they can fix the ship and escape the bad guys who dropped them there in the first place. So my role on Spare Parts is I started off originally pitching the game idea to the execs and saying, here's the game we'd like to make. From then it's greenlit, and then we go on to progressing through what the story would be, who the characters are, what the gameplay is, how big the game is, what format we put it on, and then you tie it all together and make sure the numbers work. I wanted to create a story where we could place essentially anything in the world we wanted to. So, we can take a jungle, we can take a desert, and then give a reason of why there might be a robot there or something like that. So I like the idea of this huge, spaceship just dropping rubbish all over a planet, and then all these things landing, and that giving you gameplay things to do, giving you things to interact with. And it also doesn't limit your style, because you can say, well, this came from this robot race, or maybe they visited another planet and dropped this piece of technology. So it gives you a wide variety of styles to use and gameplay reasons. So it works really well. Because of the game we've made, we decided we'd make it a third-person action-adventure. So you can see your guy on screen, you know where he's controlling, you know how you're controlling him, you can see where he's going. We wanted to make it so it was a game everyone could play with each other. So some people don't really gel with first-person shooters, other people get confused with the whole 3D rotating camera of other games. So we wanted a game that was, first of all, appealed to everyone, and it was easy enough to play, and that seemed to fit the third-person action. And then by creating a camera system that supported 2 players, we could make it co-op and then make it something that kids could play with their parents, or I could play with my girlfriend. So part of the design process is getting a helicopter view of the whole game and figuring out exactly what the game's going to be. So here I've created a timeline for the whole game that's something we can put up on a wall, and it easily communicates the idea to the rest of the team. So we generally have a timeline of how long the game's going to be. We have major plot points we detail across here, where you collect certain things in the level, the names of the levels we're planning to go through. And here we have this beat chart at the end. We call them beat charts because they give you an idea of how exciting the game will be in certain points. So at this point we have an exciting river sequence that ramps it up a bit, and then towards the end of the story we have some big reveals and twists, and then we have the drip off at the end when we have the huge crescendo of meeting the big bad guy in the game. So my one piece of advice for people entering this competition would be clearly communicate your idea, because you can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't make someone understand it, they're just not going to get it at all, really. So one tool I always use is something like this. It's the level design I have. So it's literally just a top-down view of a level we have, arrows pointing out the big things we need, little indications of where humour might occur and where platforming might occur. So anyone can look at this and instantly understand it. So this is something that would appeal to both programmers and artists, because they both have a visual cue to how it will work. The main thing you want to get right in your game is how it plays and how it feels, because you can have the best story in the world and your game could be terrible. So games do really benefit from great stories. So if you've got a great story, that's excellent, but make sure it fits with the game that you're making.